Well, it's been just over 2 weeks now since I've done a review, and with good reason. Early last month, I played and reviewed The Witcher, and I absolutely loved it. Its gorgeous visuals, racy gray area story, and fantastic fantasy world drew me in instantly. With the release of The Witcher 2 on May 17th, I wanted to take my time and fully engulf myself in the dark and mysterious fantasy world where the Northern Kingdoms continue to struggle with one another despite the advancing Nilfgaard. Many improvements have been made to the game, and some of them have even received criticism from the fans, but you're not going to find any of that from me. The events in The Witcher 2 take place about a month following the ending of The Witcher. Recall from the closing cutscene from the previous title that Geralt of Rivia had just prevented an assassination attempt on King Foltest of Temeria. The game opens with Geralt in shackles being interrogated for the murder of an important figurehead during an assault on the castle that houses the king's bastard children. The remainder of the game revolves around hunting down the murderer, clearing your name, trying to regain your memories, and of course getting involved in age-old political battles between the four northern kingdoms. The choices that you'll be forced to make on your playthrough will lead to very different gameplay experiences. While the overall plot remains the same, you could replay the game a second time, and the quests and story elements that lead to the ending could be completely different. Your nested decisions lead to one of many different endings, all of which will climax in a cliffhanger, leading us to an inevitable sequel. Overall, I found the storyline of The Witcher 2 to be much more interesting and epic than its predecessor, and again, the decisions you'll make are neither strictly good nor evil. The game's prologue, 3 acts, and epilogue took me about 35 hours to complete on the normal difficulty setting. I was able to import my save from The Witcher, which set up noticeable events right from the start, and even included some of my gear, which was significantly better than the standard starting gear. I also found the quest to be better developed, dealing less with random monster hunts and more with the primary plot at hand. With that, there was significantly less running back and forth through zones, but that's not to say the story was linear by any means. The graphics have taken a significant step up in quality. These are easily some of the most, if not the most, beautiful visuals I've seen in any game ever. The environments you will visit are also much better this time around. The first game primarily revolved around a single city with murky swamps, whereas The Witcher 2 takes you through a beautiful human city, an elven forest, and a massive dwarven empire built on top of a mine. You'll also notice very few loading screens, as the gameplay experience should be seamless as you enter dungeons, climb ladders to new areas, and even drop into eerie chasms to search for treasure. Everything about the world of The Witcher 2 is alive and evolving around you. The townsfolk will talk about you as you walk by, and then carry on with their daily lives. If it's nighttime, you'll find them in their homes sleeping, and during the day, they'll be out working or shooting the shit. Characters will even respond to you if you draw your sword or light a fire. With that, the voice acting and dialogue are significantly better than the previous title. All of the characters are interesting, sometimes funny, and often quite mysterious.
My favourite type of magic. Lesbomancy.
But all these improvements don't come without a serious hardware cost. If you're going to want to run this bastard with maxed visuals, you're going to need the latest hardware. I myself had to upgrade from an ATI 5850 to a new 6970 to keep the game running around 60 frames per second throughout its entirety in 1080p. Combat this time around has evolved, and I loved it. No longer do we have to use awkward timed click mechanics to sword fight. Now when you click, you swing. The difficulty has been greatly increased though, as the enemies now require to use all of your abilities, including dodges, parries, counters, traps, bombs, potions, and spells. With that, spells are nowhere near as powerful as they were in the previous title. Now they are an accessory for combat, not a one-stop shop for ownage. Potions have been modified a bit as well, as they now have negative effects associated with them. The cat potion helps you see in the dark by highlighting enemies, but light sources such as torches are almost blinding. You can now only drink potions during meditation, which means you'll need to constantly think ahead as to what you're gonna need. Meditation may now occur anywhere and without a fire or a bed. While meditating, you may create potions, drink them, rest for a period of time, or fill out your skill tree. Skill points are now distributed into either a general tree or into magic, swords, or alchemy trees, each allowing you to play Geralt differently. The inventory system has also been greatly revamped, for the better, but it's still not perfect. You may now carry many more items, and they're filtered into various categories, including additional weapons, which defeats one of my annoyances with The Witcher. All of this is great, but there's still no way to filter out junk to vendor quickly. New armor options have been added as well, including boots, gloves, and pants, and you may enhance your chest armor. The crafting system has been greatly enhanced as well, giving you a ridiculous amount of crafting components and diagrams for creating bombs, potions, armor, weapons, and even better crafting materials. Herbs also play a big role in alchemy, and you no longer have to read about them before you may pick them. There's actually a pretty good variety of entertaining things to do while playing through the extensive campaign. In addition to the great dialogue and combat, sometimes you'll be put into situations where you'll utilize a stealth mechanic, get into a fist fight, or even do some arm wrestling. Things like giving gifts and getting drunk have been removed from the game completely. Overall, I have to say, I've had an amazing 2 weeks playing through The Witcher 2 at my leisure. Again, this is easily the most beautiful game I've ever played, and I'm very grateful for being fortunate enough to have a rig powerful enough to take advantage of this. If you're looking for a great role-playing game into, The Witcher series is one I absolutely recommend. But I wouldn't hop straight into The Witcher 2 without playing the previous title. It's pretty important to get a firm grasp on what's going on right from the beginning. And let's not forget that this is a very adult-oriented game with full frontal nudity and lots of sex right from the very first cutscene. I likey. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.